It is Wednesday, June 24th, 2015. How are you doing? My name is Kevin Coe, and this is the Side Life Features Podcast. Thank you so much for being here with us today. Now, look, I really wanted to make a bunch of podcasts during the finals. I actually recorded one and just never uploaded it because every podcast I made, I found myself talking about this draft. Because let's be honest, the only thing that Laker fans really gave a shit about during the entirety of the freaking NBA Finals was the fact that we had the number 2 overall pick. And I got some good news, ladies and gentlemen, that has not changed. So, we're going to talk about who the hell should the Lakers draft. And now I understand that the Lakers drafting who should they draft might be a lot different than who they're actually drafting. You know what I mean? Who will they draft and who should they draft are two completely different things. But we'll touch on both of them. See, the thing is with me is that the draft stock of different NBA prospects just goes up and down all the time. So, there are just so many things, man, that you got to take into account when you play and you get involved around with this media frenzy. You know, this NBA blogosphere / Twitter sphere / general media. You know what I mean? Like your ESPNs, you know? So, speaking of ESPN, ESPN's Chad Ford, right? This guy is basically, he's the Mel Kiper of basketball, like of the NBA. You know, Mel Kiper is the whole NFL guru, the NFL draft guy. He's like, yeah, you should definitely pick Jameis Winston, number 1. And, like, he always just, you know, Frank Caliendo does, like, a great impression of him. By the way, I'm not doing myself any favors, but by referring you to another podcast. But if you haven't noticed here, it's all love. Shaquille freaking O'Neal, the Big Diesel. If you guys haven't checked that out yet, man, it's so good. He has this new podcast, and, like, it's so much better than the stuff he does on TNT. He's much more, like, how can Shaq be more honest and open? This is him being more honest and open. I feel like this is a better representation of, like, who he is as a person. So, definitely check that out. Just Google Shaq Podcast. You'll find it somewhere. I think it's called, like, The Big Podcast with Shaq or something. Has a host. The host is a pretty interesting guy. And, yeah, dude, they had Dan Patrick one week. Okay, I'm going to stop. This is not a commercial for Shaq's freaking podcast. But, anyway, Laker lore, man. Great freaking pod. Like, I've been on that every week. Speaking of big, dominant Lakers. So, I think everyone kind of knows that the Lakers are going to take Jahlil Okafor second. Big man out of Duke. If you've been keeping up, then you should know that this guy's basically been like the number 2 guy this entire time. It's been Karl Anthony Towns 1, Jahlil Okafor 2. You know, you're going to have those cool college basketball fans. I'm not saying I'm not a college basketball fan, but everyone knows a guy that's like, yeah, but like Jahlil Okafor, he was like number 1 all year, and then like he was number 1. Everyone thought he was going to be the number 1 pick, but all of a sudden he's not. I honestly cannot deal with people like that, man, because no shit. Like, that's like saying there's 2 cars, okay? And you have these 2 cars, and, like, you start them from January, and in January, you're told, hey, you're going to get to watch these 2 cars just go off. And in June, you're going to have to pick one of them, okay? And just because at that time everyone thought Car A was going to be a beastie, okay, doesn't mean that by the end of the 5 or 6 months that you watch the cars, that's going to be the same. That's like the same thing. Just because a guy was supposed to be picked number 1 earlier doesn't mean jack shit now, at the point where we have to pick something after we've watched him play, after we've watched him go up against, crazy amounts of competition, both Kentucky and Duke, where Karl Anthony Towns plays in Kentucky. But you saw it, man. Like, there's a reason this guy is not the consensus number 1 overall pick. Because he's just not the freak athlete overall like Karl Anthony Towns is. So it's pretty obvious that Towns is going number 1. He's already been in these interviews with the Timberwolves where he accidentally dropped a "we" when referring to the Wolves. So I'm pretty sure they're going to take him. But you never know. Apparently Sanders is up the wall. Like he really wants Okafor. Apparently. Either that or Porzingis. Now we'll get to that in a second. Oh, okay. So let's talk about Chad Ford. So before I was talking about Chad Ford is the Mel Kiper of the NBA draft. Chad Ford had this weird thing. Let me just explain it to you the way it is. So this guy went back to his old NBA draft rankings. Because, if he's the Mel Kiper of the NBA draft, he's going to have to do those same rankings, before the actual draft happens and before the players actually pan out. So this guy went back and he made the players that he ranked lower, that are actually doing well, he ranked them higher. He went back because he was like, who the hell is going to go back and look at this anyway? So I might as well make myself look better. And if people do go back, then I look like a beast. So he got guys like Giannis. He dropped a whole bunch of international players down. There's just a laundry list of it. And, one guy on the NBA subreddit page saw it. He posted something. Every blog like Deadspin, SB Nation, they all picked it up and kind of exposed him. So what ESPN did was they went back and they changed it back to the original ranking. So now you can't even see it. So you have to go to one of these blogs or something, right, to ever see it. And what they're probably going to do is hopefully, in their eyes, hopefully in 10 years, everyone just forgets and everyone doesn't know the difference between, did someone Photoshop these or did someone, alter these? You'll never know that because, we changed them back to the original ones anyway. Which sucks. It sucks, man. That's cheesy. It's classless. I'm talking about a guy going back and changing his rankings. You know what I mean? I think even if he was wrong, people may have given him shit for being wrong, but generally they weren't even that bad. So he's going Brian Williams on you guys, just doctoring shit. So he got caught up in that, and he's still the guy for ESPN. He's still the Mel Kiper, he's still that guy. So what's going on right now is he has this absolute hard-on for freaking Porzingis, okay? Chris, I don't even know how to say his freaking first name, man. Porzingis I know because I've just been hearing this guy's name go in and out of my damn head for the past week and a half. Kristaps Porzingis. So, according to Chad Ford, this guy should go number 2. Or I've heard him argue for number 1, saying he's the talented guy, saying he just has every tool, and that's great, but this guy, he plays for this team called CB Sevilla. I mean, if someone out there, man, if you know where this place is, point it to me on a map. It's in San Pablo, Spain. Oh, okay, dude. He plays at Palacio Municipal San Pablo. Yeah, that's right down the street. You just take the 60 over there, and you'll be there in like 5 seconds. You know, that he plays in a different freaking world, man. That's the thing. Because yes, I'm not an idiot. I know Spain is another country. I know it's like, you know, it's on Earth. But what I mean by world is culturally, it's just completely different. And that's not even the big thing that I care about. What I care about, because you'll hear guys like, oh, he's from the different, he's going to have a hard time adapting. Who cares about that, dude? It's the fact that we haven't seen this guy play against top-tier competition. And it's not like this guy has been dominating any type of crazy competition. You know what I mean? Like, basketball in Spain, that's rowdy and that's great. But you're using that guy to justify, you're going to say, you're going to try to justify yourself in taking this guy, Porzingis, over a Karl Anthony Towns for, like, the insane people. But for the more sane, like, the Okafers, the D'Angelo Russells, even the Moutiers. Because at least we kind of know what Emmanuel Mudiay is. He's from Congo, but he played at Prime Prep. I think it was Prime Prep. And Deion Sanders, his high school, his prep school, he played in America. He played high school ball here. So we do know a little bit about the guy and a little bit about how he plays. So, and we have good actual footage, not some 360 like quality YouTube video of some guy playing in Spain. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't see how you could be comfortable taking Porzingis unless, I don't know, man. I don't know. And people are going to be like, oh, why are you so scared to take international players? It's not fair just because Darko didn't fan out. First of all, it's not just Darko. It's like Darko. It's like Sun Yu. It's like Yi Jian Lin. It's like a lot. It's like Rudy Fernandez even. You know what I mean? Like a lot of these guys that get drafted pretty high. But there's a lot of guys that get drafted right behind them that you would way rather 5 years down the line would have taken. And I'm talking about, you look at guys like Justice Winslow even, that you might want to take over Porzingis. Porzingis is high up on this board. I'm going to go right now to ESPN and look at their draft page, because up and down, it's been going all day. By the way, before I even talk about that crap, who do I think the Lakers should take? D'Angelo Russell. But it might come to, like, slap me in the face. But the thing is, this guy has – the thing I like about the guy is that his exceptional traits are very hard to come by. They're not – so check this out. I wouldn't mind Okafor either. I mean, I think the Lakers are going to take him. I'm pretty sure they're going to take him at 2. But – I guess there's a chance that they could also take D'Angelo Russell. I mean, we already know easily that Karl Anthony Towns is going 1, right? So if he even falls to number 2, then yeah, right away, take him, no doubt. But what's probably going to happen is at the 2 spot, you're going to have Okafor, Russell, Porzingis. Mudiay, let's not even talk about that. There's no way Mudiay is going there. He had 2 workouts with the Lakers. Apparently they went well, but he still can't make a jump shot. I actually really like Justice Winslow, man. I do. I really do. Devin Booker, too. I saw the guy play in person. Sweet jump shot. But, okay. Lakers probably taking Okafor because the Lakers have a long lineage of taking big men. The Lakers are traditional, and they like going inside, and they like their big men from Wilt Chamberlain to Shaquille O'Neal to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Yeah, great. You also forget that the Lakers had Kobe Bryant. Year of Magic Johnson. Jerry freaking West. You ever hear of those guys? Yeah. They weren't 7 feet tall. Elgin Baylor. You hear those dudes? Do they ring a bell? You know? The Lakers have just... Yes. The Lakers' history of big men is impressive. But the Lakers have just as an impressive lineage of guards, of star guards. And after Kobe, who's taking it, man? Like, who's taking it? And the reason I love taking D'Angelo Russell here is because out of high school, he was a shooting guard. Because the guy's like 6'5", 6'6". But he played point guard in he played point guard at Ohio State. So what that tells me is he's a shooting guard who's good enough. He's a scorer who's good enough at handling the ball that he can play point, that he can be an officially labeled point guard in college. That's really impressive, especially when you're a shooting guard. So what that tells me is he's just obviously combo guard, but the fact that he can handle the ball that well, he's just a talented guy, and he has great court vision. His jump shot, it's all right. Athleticism, you could work on it, but it's not like Kobe came in as the most athletic guy either. The thing is, I would really like to see the Lakers take D'Angelo Russell because, especially like last year, Julius Randle, they took a big. And, I mean, we just watched a damn NBA Finals where everyone's going fast. The tallest guy on the floor for important periods of the game was like Draymond Green, who can't even scratch 7 feet. And it's like, what teams did you see that had like a standalone inside the paint attack center? You know what I mean? Could you maybe see Jahlil Okafor turning into an Al Horford? Yeah, maybe, right? But that's the thing, man. It's like the ceiling for D'Angelo Russell, in my eyes, it's like everyone's cool with, oh yeah, Jahlil Okafor, he'll probably be like an Al Jefferson or, Al Jefferson, hopefully an Al Horford, and that's the ceiling. For D'Angelo Russell, everyone's like, oh, shit. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, everyone's like, oh, he might be James Harden for all I fucking know. It's like no one knows what this guy quite is yet, 100%, and that just makes me really excited. That really does. And the reason, man, Okafor, like, damn, you're really just going to post the fucking guy up every damn play? Like, it's just old. But, and especially with his defensive woes, it's like, can you really play center in this league by having defensive woes? There's reports today that came out that he's had bad, work ethic. He doesn't really have a drive. That's why some teams are falling down on picking the guy. But, dude, I still would not pick freaking Porzingis over Okafor. You know what I mean? I just don't like the Porzingis stuff. I mean, there is just as good of a chance, I guess, of this all falling flat on my face. Because, like, let's admit it, it's 50-50 most of the time, right? With these guys, like, there are some guys, a good amount of guys who are just going to be gray area, who are, like, just as good. But most of the time, it's either these guys are going to be as good as we think they're going to be, or they're not. They're either going to meet our expectations or they're not. So it's like a coin flip. So there's a good chance, maybe, there's like a 50% chance, I guess, right now, that Porzingis is the next Dirk Nowitzki or whatever, as Chad Ford keeps comparing him to. And here's the thing, man. It's not even just Chad Ford. It's like everyone is like, this guy is the next Dirk Nowitzki. He is like he might be at the worst Nikola Mirotic. Why is it so hard for people to compare this guy to just a black guy? Like, why do all black guys have to be compared to other black guys? And it's not even like that because let's be honest, like most players in the NBA are black, most of the players, right? So when you look at, like, when they compare white guys, because there's obviously less white dudes taken in the NBA draft than black dudes. And trust me when I say there are, like, no Asian dudes. So I'm just kind of, we're just kind of clapping on the sidelines over here. But they always compare the white guys to another white guy all the time, man. It's like R.J. Hunter, for sure. Gordon Hayward, Porzingis. He looks like a combination of a Dirk Nowitzki and a Pau Gasol and a Marc Gasol and a sprinkle of Steve Blake. And just for good measure, let's just, let's add Bargnani. Just throw in white dudes. Any white dude, please. So yeah, I really want the Lakers to take D'Angelo Russell. I really do. I just think it'd be more fun. It'd be more exciting. Backcourt, let's put it this way. This is the way I was thinking about it, okay? What excites you more looking into the future? A backcourt or like a lineup, okay? Jordan Clarkson, Julius Randle, Jahlil Okafor, that's your three, up against Jordan Clarkson, D'Angelo Russell, and Julius Randle. The dudes with D'Angelo Russell and Jordan Clarkson, that backcourt, I mean, I'm not saying, oh shit, man, it's like a top 5 backcourt. No, in no way, shape, or form. But it's a young backcourt. When's the last time the Lakers had a young backcourt was Kobe and D-Fish when they were young. And since then, we've had some old dudes playing the backcourt, man. We had Jordan Clarkson, go off last year. How exciting would it be to have that? Because here's the thing, too. It's not like Jordan Clarkson is a point guard either. So you're basically having two guys who are kind of combo guards who are both preferably shooting guards. And Russell would obviously, in my opinion, be the point guard in that situation, and Jordan Clarkson should obviously slide down to the 2. I mean, it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. Maybe. Well, it might, because Byron Scott is all about the old school, yeah. Positions, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The one position only passes and gives it inside to the post-up player who will shoot mid-range jump shots on my cue. But yeah, I just think a young backcourt gets me a lot more excited than, a young front court. You know what I mean? Maybe because there's so many young bigs just being recycled all the time. You know what I mean? Like these Derek Williams types who are just good enough. You know what I mean? If you had them on a contender where they could probably be pretty good. There's just a lot of young guys out there, But at the same damn time, I guess you could say there are a lot of guards out there that can shoot threes. I don't know, man. It's up to you. The thing is, here's the last straw, too. D'Angelo Russell, higher ceiling. Jahlil Okafor, ceiling Al Jefferson. If you pray to the heavens and loud, maybe Tim Duncan. But it's probably Al Jefferson. So, D'Angelo Russell or Okafor to the Lakers, please. Okay, I mean, we're obviously running very high, or long, but the NBA draft, it's Thursday, either tomorrow or today, depending on when you listen to this, but there could be some movement with this pick, and the thing is, if the Lakers do trade out of this, and maybe, work something out with the Denver Nuggets, or with the Kings for DMC DeMarcus Cousins. I mean, I would not mind if the Lakers traded for DeMarcus Cousins, but let's just wait and see what happens with those trades, because we don't even know what they are. You know what I mean? Like, stories just get planted and shit all the time, so you got to be careful. But if the Lakers do stay pat, D'Angelo Russell or Okafor, I would not mind either one. If they trade down, I would kind of hope they go for like a Justice Winslow, maybe a Moutier. Wow, I just got an alert, man. Blazers are trading Nicholas Batum for Gerald Henderson and Noah Vonleh. That's interesting as hell. Noah Vonleh, experts had him like a lottery pick last year in the draft, and he fell to like 8 or 9. I don't remember. I think 8. But dang, Blazers making moves, moving Batum. Who knew? I thought that guy would stay with the Blazers for his entire life. Like, even after his career, he'd just stick around the arena. You just never thought that guy would leave. So, it was, ladies and gentlemen, Wednesday, June 24th, 2015. My name is Kevin Go, and thank you so much for listening today. Draft is tomorrow. After that happens, I'm going to be back with another pod. Because the thing is, the only reason I didn't do these pods, man, every day there was like a new thing coming out. And I hate when you do a pod and some other shit just pops up right at the end, and then you're just screwed. Anyways, thank you for tuning in. I will see you soon. Hopefully, the Lakers do the right thing. But hey, I trust Mitch. In Mitch, we trust. Mitch, bitch. Talk to you soon. Been working all day long, cause all day long I've been working. I got this shit right here, so really you can stop the search. I got the ski mask on, you fuck around and yeah, we murking.